Welcome to Copilot Podcasts. What happens when you combine a child prodigy's grief with centuries of accumulated evil? Today, we're diving into two fascinating origin stories that couldn't be more different, Riri Williams and Blackheart. By the end of this episode, you'll understand how genius and darkness can both shape destiny.
And these aren't just any origin stories, they're perfect mirrors of each other, showing how legacy can be both a blessing and a curse.
Let's start with Riri. She's not just another tech genius, right?
Not at all. According to the comics, Riri Williams was certified as a super genius at just 5 years old. But what's fascinating is how she responded to that label. She actually wanted people to tell her she couldn't succeed.
Wait, she wanted people to doubt her? That's different.
Yeah, there's this amazing moment where she actually got angry at a teacher for being too supportive. She wanted someone to tell her she couldn't be the next Tony Stark, just so she could prove them wrong.
That's such a unique motivation. But then tragedy struck, right?
Yes, during a picnic at Marquette Park, Riri lost both her stepfather and her best friend Natalie in a drive-by shooting. This happened when she was just 13.
And that's what drove her to create her first suit?
Exactly. She reverse-engineered Iron Man's technology, building her first suit from scraps while she was at MIT. And speaking of MIT...
You know, it's interesting how many Marvel geniuses come through MIT. Reed Richards was there too, right?
Absolutely. MIT seems to be Marvel's go-to institution for creating super geniuses. But let's pivot to our other origin story, one that's considerably darker.
Blackheart. Now there's a character with a truly unique origin.
Created by Ann Nocenti and John Romita Jr., Blackheart isn't your typical demon. He was literally formed from centuries of accumulated evil in a place called Christ's Crown, New York.
Hold up, he's made from actual human evil?
Yes, Mephisto was drawn to this location because of the sheer concentration of murder and tragedy there. He used that energy to create Blackheart as his son.
That's intense. And he has this really distinct appearance, right?
He appears as a black, spine-covered humanoid with a long tail. But here's something fascinating. He smells like burning ink and roses.
Burning ink and roses, that's such a specific detail.
It's symbolic of his nature, the beauty and destruction intertwined. He doesn't even have a heartbeat.
Let's talk about how these characters deal with legacy. Riri has this complicated relationship with Tony Stark's memory, right?
In the comics, Stark actually left her an AI version of himself as a mentor. But in recent adaptations, like her Disney Plus series, she's had to forge her own path without that direct connection.
And she's found other mentors, hasn't she?
Yes, particularly Shuri from Wakanda. Their relationship is actually one of the most compelling in recent Marvel history, two young genius women supporting each other.
Meanwhile, Blackheart has this really complex relationship with his father, Mephisto.
It's fascinating how different their dynamic is from other Marvel family relationships. Blackheart constantly questions his father's methods and tries to overthrow him.
You know, it's interesting how both characters are trying to either live up to or reject their predecessors.
Exactly. And both have faced controversy in their portrayals.
Oh? What do you mean?
Well, there was actually a significant incident in 2016 where Marvel had to pull a variant cover of Riri's first appearance because it inappropriately sexualized her character, who was only 15 at the time.
That's pretty serious. How did they handle that?
Marvel and Midtown Comics made the right call and pulled it immediately. They've been much more careful with her portrayal since then.
Let's talk about their powers. Riri's are pretty straightforward. She's got the suit, the genius intellect.
Right. Her armor grants her superhuman strength, speed, durability, and flight capabilities, plus energy repulsors and missile projection.
And Blackheart's powers are more supernatural?
He can regenerate from physical harm, levitate, teleport between dimensions, and generate black energy blasts. He can even change his size and physical form.
That's quite a power set. Has he ever faced off against Riri in the comics?
Interestingly, they haven't had any direct confrontations yet. Their paths have been quite separate.
Let's talk about recent developments. Riri's been pretty busy lately.
She's really come into her own. In her recent Disney Plus series, she's dealing with both technological and magical threats, showing how versatile she can be.
And Blackheart?
He's had some interesting developments too, including a stint where Mephisto transformed him into a mortal to teach him humility.
Wait, he became human? How did that work out?
He actually joined the Avengers Academy as a student. It was a fascinating exploration of his character.
That's such a wild turn for a character who started as pure evil.
It really shows how both these characters have evolved beyond their original concepts.
Speaking of evolution, Riri's relationship with Shuri is particularly interesting.
Yes, they've only shared the screen once, but their chemistry was incredible. They really understand each other as young geniuses in a complex world.
It's different from Tony Stark's mentorship style, isn't it?
Completely. Shuri understands what it means to be a brilliant young mind, especially as a black girl in science. It's a perspective Tony never could have offered.
Let's talk about their impact on the Marvel Universe as a whole.
Both characters represent different aspects of inheritance. Riri shows how legacy can be built on inspiration rather than direct connection.
And Blackheart?
He represents the struggle against predetermined destiny. Despite being created from pure evil, he's shown the capacity to question and change.
It's fascinating how both characters deal with expectations, one technological, one supernatural.
And both have managed to forge their own paths despite the weight of their origins.
So what's next for these characters?
Well, Riri's story is still unfolding in the MCU, while Blackheart continues to evolve in the comics, showing that origin stories are just the beginning.
When you step back from all this, what's the bigger picture here?
I think these two characters show us that origin stories aren't just about how powers are gained, they're about how individuals choose to respond to their circumstances.
Whether those circumstances are tragic loss or demonic creation.
Exactly. It's about taking what you're given, whether that's genius or darkness, and deciding what to do with it.
And that brings us to the end of today's episode of Copilot Podcasts. Remember, whether you're building an iron suit in your garage or questioning your demonic destiny, it's not where you start, it's where you choose to go.